specifically talk about law clerks, because that's
Yeah.
very interesting. You are a law clerk. And now is the training, I can't, okay, I think you were talking about going to Seneca for the paralegal training, but where
Yes.
does a law clerk, where would they get their training or the certificate?
You know what? You can actually go and do a college certificate or diploma program through Seneca, through Humber, through
Oh,
George Brown, any
ah,
of the community colleges that offer legal programs
mm,
typically offer legal assistant, law clerk, paralegal programs. The only thing that you really can't get at a community college is a lawyer, an LLB or an
right,
LLM.
right.
But if you go to the Seneca programs, or if you go to the Humber programs or Centennial or what have you, fill in the blank of the Ontario Community College that you have easy access to. You go
Yes.
into their business courses,
Oh, yes.
and from the business courses, you find the legal administration, the law clerk, the paralegal, the what have you, what your end goal wants to be. For law clerks and legal assistants, you can do diploma programs through the community colleges.
Right.
For law clerks, you can also become certified through ILCU, the Institute of Law Clerks of Ontario.
Ah, yes.
I personally did my certification through George Brown.
Mm,
Can't remember the name of the campus, but it's the one downtown, King
okay.
Street and Jarvis area.
Yeah, I know.
So the ILCU program is a little bit different. It still lets you work in everything. It's no better or worse or different. It's just a different way of approaching. Um, it's litigation, real estate,
Mm,
corporate, and
mm,
wills and estates.
right. Cool, cool.
And you do those 4 courses, and then you have your basic certification through the Institute of Law Clerks of Ontario. There are so many other programs and courses that can make you a more senior law clerk, a law clerk with different qualifications. I personally haven't had the opportunity or the money to go and pay for the associate law clerk or for the municipal course. I saw something the other day that was about municipal and environmental, I think it was. I might be mistaken about that. So don't quote me on that specifically. Go and take a look at the ILCU website to find out what they have.
Mhm.
But they do offer more than just those. They are just almost a quick and dirty way of getting your law clerking and getting into law clerking. What happens within the diploma program, I'm not actually sure. But that's because I didn't take it. I took the route of becoming a paralegal
Right.
and then going and getting my certification through the Institute of Law Clerks of Ontario.
So what
Okay,
services, yeah, do law clerks provide for lawyers?
so it really depends on the area of law that you are working in.
Mm,
Um, but in general, it's proofreading a document, it's finalizing a document, it's making sure that that document is ready to go to opposing counsel, or that it's ready to be registered with the land registry office,
mhm,
or that it's ready to go to court for issuing or filing.
right.
Um, Depending on what area of law you're working on, it's about really doing the behind the scenes work, because ultimately lawyers are busy doing the strategy, the
Right.
substantive law,
Right.
um, writing the reporting letter to the client and giving them advice on what to do next, giving
Mhm,
them the advice that law clerks are not actually allowed to give.
right.
Law clerks can say, I've been instructed that you don't need to do this, or I've been instructed on that you do need to do this. And
Right.
the this is the fill in the blank. I can't tell you the amount of times I have explained what an examination for discovery is, or what an affidavit of documents is,
Yes.
and I have, by virtue of being a commissioner, commissioned them. But in terms of being a law clerk, I cannot advise you on what needs to go into your affidavit of documents and what does not need to go into your affidavit of documents. As a law clerk, I can walk through the documents with you to make sure that you understand what's going into your affidavit of documents. But ultimately, law clerks and support staff are procedural, behind the scenes, proofreading, finalizing, formatting, making pretty,
Now,
diarizing
right.
things to make sure that you don't forget to do something.
So you're, so the formatting, you would know how, like, because I know that the court documents have very specific format, and so you would be, you would know all about
They
that.
are so Yes, I
Yeah.
know all about that. And I've even discovered recently that the one key system is so finicky that
Oh,
every single page has to be portrait, not landscape.
mm,
I had trouble, a terrible time getting a amended statement of claim
yeah,
filed.
yeah,
I'm not going to say which courthouse it was because I don't want to call out anybody,
right.
but I will tell you that when I finally got on the phone with the one key to say, what's going on? This is the millionth time I've filed an amended statement of claim, and the first time that it has been rejected 3
Oh my
times.
gosh.
And the first thing that she asked me was if all of the pages were portrait or if any of them were landscape. And I think I probably had the same expression that you've just given me because I didn't have a mirror or a phone in front of me to go, huh? Um, really? I'm like, all right, well, that's good to know. So yes, formatting, making sure that everything is going the proper way. I've even realized recently that with the land of pandemic remote work and everything being electronic,
Yeah.
that things like DocuSign and anything where you're actually having to sign electronically
Yes.
is also affecting your ability to create a PDF, to format the PDF, to reduce the size of the PDF if you have to. But all of those things are things that fall into what I do to
Mm.
make sure that a document is court ready and will actually be uploaded onto the system.
Wow. So you really have to, you're dealing with all the technical issues that
All of the
arise.
technical issues, all of the making
Yes.
sure that, I mean, depending on how good of a proofreader the lawyer is, all of the proofreading to make sure that everything is consistent, to make sure that everything has been defined, to make sure that if it's going to a judge, that the judge is following what you have written rather than saying, and then she gave the document to fill in the blank. Well, who is she? You need to make sure that the she has been defined so that the she is not just a random person that you're all of a sudden introducing or that you spoke about 5 pages earlier and haven't spoken about since. So flow and continuity and making sure that all the little pieces of the file that need to be in the document, that file review actually happens. Because a lot of the time, the file review is procedural so that you're fact finding rather than substantive and looking for that smoking gun piece of evidence. So when I'm going through and looking
Mm.
for a motion record, I'm looking for, that letter dated May 15th
Yeah.
or that document that actually had both signatures on it.
Stuff. Yeah.
Rather than what the document says, the document that
Right.
has both signatures on it.
Now, Chrissy, let's move on to the last and most important question. Well, I shouldn't say that, but, because we do have a lot of viewers out there who are self-represented litigants. So I'm just wondering, could a self-represented litigant hire you to help them with this formatting, stuff like that you just mentioned?
So that's a really important question and a really important distinction.
Yeah.
People hiring a law clerk
Mm-hmm.
have to realize when they're hiring a law clerk that they are not hiring someone who is going to be able to represent them or
Yes.
give them legal advice.
Right.
They're almost hiring a resume builder
Mm.
or someone just to vet the document to make sure that what they have done and they're going to submit in their own name
Yeah.
is ready to go for court. I've seen a lot of self-represented people put documents together in a bit
Mm-hmm.
of a haphazard way.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a negative. That's not a criticism. It's
Mm-hmm.
that they don't have the training.
Right.
Law clerks can absolutely help with that,
Mm-hmm.
but the person who is approaching the law clerk has to realize that law clerks cannot, under any circumstance, give legal advice. That's why I've been trying to sort of steer away from having clients who are self-represented people when they're not entirely clear that I'm only a law clerk.
Yeah.
So far with Clearly Legal, the clients that I have taken on are all lawyers,
I see.
and all of my work is being vetted and approved by them because ultimately my work is going to the court
Right.
or going to wherever under their name with clear lawyer instruction. It's
Mm.
not to say that I can't take on a client who is not a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
It's to say that I can't provide legal advice or represent that person or make choices for them. I can only say, yes, this reads clearly. Yes, your form has been put together properly. Yes, your form has been compiled properly.
Mm.
If that makes sense. I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I do hope to be clear about that, and I do hope that I've made sense with that explanation.
Yeah, so because I remember when I was a self-represented litigant, I remember thinking, oh, I only need someone to put together, to assemble the motion record, and I don't have time for it. I just need to hire someone who knows how a motion record is supposed to look like. So now, can you do that, provide that type of service where just, you're not responsible for the content, but you're just responsible for putting it together into the right form for.
Absolutely. You know what? When the person who is asking that question understands explicitly that
Okay.
I cannot and that no law clerk can provide legal advice
Yeah.
and any kind of dissecting of legal research or anything like that, yes, I 100% would be happy to
Okay.
put together a motion record for somebody. That is
Mm.
100% something I am allowed to do. And it's frankly 100% part of what lawyers rely on me for.
Oh, do you do process serving, by the way?
No,
Oh,
but
that's
I
a
can tell
different.
you a lot of people who do process serving.
Okay, right. So that's another category of professionals, right? Like,
It can be, absolutely. Process servers can be law clerks. I have just chosen not to be. I have chosen not to go that way.
right.
But I think that a part of why I've chosen not to go that way is because of the education that I bring and the strengths that I bring. I am better serving you by drafting and reviewing and editing your affidavit and your motion record than serving your motion
Mm.
record for you.
Thank you so much, Kristy, for coming in today.
Welcome.
And actually, I want to give a shout out to your Facebook group. Is that okay?
Oh, absolutely, please.
Okay, so yeah, Kristy. Actually, that's how we met. Kristy has a
That's right.
Yes, Kristy has a Facebook group called Lady Law Clerks and Lawyers Connect. So if you're up for some networking, join us there. And I want to thank everybody for watching. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and then we'll see you at the next time. Bye.
Bye. Have a great day. Thank you.